Hi, I'm Bridget. Welcome to my kitchen where I elevate the everyday with inspiring recipes that are doable for any cook. Vegetables are the star of today's episode. I'm sharing an inspiring way to enjoy cauliflower. Hint, it's a good substitute for mashed potatoes. And in honor of the less loved vegetables of the world, I'll teach you how to fall for rutabaga, also known as turnip. We'll start with the wallflower of the produce section, the rutabaga, or turnip. It's actually a cross between a turnip and a wild cabbage. I think of this as an old-fashioned vegetable, often served mashed, or mostly served mashed, around here anyway. But we're going to change that up a bit today and turn it into turnip fries. We'll just peel it and cut it into matchsticks, toss it with salt and pepper, and put it in the oven to bake. Roasting turnip and rutabaga brings out the sweetness in the vegetables. The thinner we cut our fries, the faster they'll cook. So I'm going to slice them into about half-inch wedges to begin, and then we'll cut the matchsticks from there. These fries are always best eaten right out of the oven. And if you have any leftovers, you can always chop them up and add them to soup. Now that we've got all of our matchsticks, we're going to lay them in a single layer on a big parchment-lined cookie sheet. And then I'm going to drizzle them with olive oil, sprinkle them with salt and pepper, and we'll put them in the oven to roast. I've preheated the oven to 375 degrees, and these are going to take a better part of an hour. So we'll use about 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil, a few grinds of pepper, and a generous sprinkling of salt. And I'm just going to toss them with the oil, salt and pepper. I want to make sure that they're well coated with the oil. You could also toss them in a bowl, but I'd rather dirty my hands than have one more dish to wash. You want these to bake in a single layer so they can brown on the bottom side. And about halfway through cooking, we'll toss them. So we'll get these in the oven to roast. Now we'll get going on our next recipe, the slightly garlicky mashed cauliflower. Our cauliflower mash is a tasty low-carb alternative to mashed potatoes. Healthy, delicious, and simple to make, this is a dish that goes with so many of our weekly meals. We'll just start by cutting the cauliflower into chunks or into florets. I'll want to core it mostly first, because we don't want to cook the leaves. And then I'm just going to roughly cut it. It doesn't need to be pretty because we're going to steam it, or braise it really, and then puree it. Next, we'll put everything in a big pot. I'm just going to load all of the cauliflower into the pot. And along with that, I'm adding 1 garlic clove, whole garlic clove, 1 bay leaf, a teaspoon of salt, and 2 cups of water. I'll cover it and bring it to the boil over a medium-high heat. These are cooking nicely, already starting to brown. It's amazing though how long turnip takes to cook compared to squash or other vegetables. Because even though they're sizzling and they're browning nicely, they still have a good 20 minutes to go. I'll put the turnip back in for about 20 minutes. Now let's check on our cauliflower. And it's starting to soften. We want it to get quite tender, so I'm going to check it again in another 5 or 10 minutes. Our cauliflower is tender and ready to drain. Now that this is well drained, we can add the remaining ingredients. I love that this is a 1-pot vegetable dish. Have to be sure to pick out the bay leaf. We won't need that anymore. And I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of butter and a little bit of pepper. Now, because I added salt before cooking, I'm going to wait till this is blended before I decide if it needs to have a bit more salt added. I'll just stir that in a little bit to get the butter melting. Now, to do the blending, you can put this mixture in a food processor and that'll make it really smooth and creamy. But if you want a simpler version, like I do, you can use an immersion blender and blend it right in the pot. That is nice and creamy. Now that this is well blended, I'm going to give it a little taste, see if it needs extra salt and if it needs any more pepper. It's salty enough for me, so you can serve it as is, or sometimes I like to add a few herbs. This is just a French fine herb blend, and I'm only going to add a little bit. You could also add spices to this, or a little bit of dill. Our fries look perfect. They're golden and sizzling and ready to serve. If you're in search of new vegetable dishes to help you press the reset button, or if you're just bored with your regular vegetable dishes, these 2 out-of-the-ordinary recipes will help liven up your dinner plate. Thanks for watching.